stop. Don't scroll. Don't skip. Today, January 1st, Archangel Michael says, "If you skip me now, I will leave. Not because I'm angry with you, my child, but because some doors only open once. Don't move your thumb. Don't blink. Stay with me until the end, because this is not a normal moment. This message doesn't chase crowds. It finds one worn-out soul who still believes God can do it again. And if that's you, if your heart just trembled when I said that, then you were pulled here for a reason. You have 10 seconds. 10 seconds before the window closes. 10 seconds before heaven moves on to someone else. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to save you. Because there is a tragedy heading toward your life right now, and Archangel Michael has been fighting to reach you before it lands. Don't turn away. Don't let fear win. Stay right here, because before this ends, I'm going to name the one thing that's been blocking your peace, and the one decision heaven is asking from you today. Type "I will stay" if you're still here. That's not engagement, that's agreement. My beloved child, I need you to breathe with me for a moment, because what I'm about to say is going to feel like I've been watching you through the window of your own life. And I have been. Not to judge you, but to know you. You've been doing math at the kitchen table that doesn't add up. The bills show up like bullies, one after another, each one louder than the last. You count what's left in the account. You count it twice, and still the numbers don't stretch far enough to cover what's coming. Retirement was supposed to feel like rest, wasn't it? But instead, it feels like walking a tightrope with no net underneath. You try not to panic. You try to trust. But late at night, when the house is quiet and everyone else is asleep, you lie there and wonder, how much longer can I hold this together? I see you, my child. I see the weight you carry that no one else notices. Stay with me, because I'm about to explain why this pain has a spiritual pattern. But first, let me name what else you've been carrying. Your body doesn't feel like it used to. You wake up tired. You move slower. There's a quiet fear that sits in your chest at night, a whisper you don't want to speak out loud. What if my body doesn't hold up? Doctor visits pile up like homework you never wanted. Medications line the counter like soldiers you didn't ask to recruit. And everyone keeps telling you to stay strong. But my child, you're tired of being strong. You're tired of pretending you're fine when your bones ache and your energy is gone by noon. You're tired of smiling through the pain because people don't know what to do with your honesty. And the loneliest part? You can't say any of this out loud without sounding weak. So you carry it in silence. You carry it to God in the quiet, not in fancy prayers, but in sighs, in groans, in the kind of wordless grief that only heaven understands. Stay with me, my child, because there's more you've been holding, and I need you to feel seen before I show you the way out. Somebody you loved is missing from the house. The chair is empty. The phone doesn't ring the way it used to. Maybe they passed on. Maybe they walked away. Maybe life just pulled you in different directions and the closeness you had is gone. But either way, the silence is deafening. You talk to them sometimes in your head, in the quiet moments, wondering if they can hear you, wondering if God hears you. Because sometimes it feels like you're shouting into a void and nobody's answering back. You've learned to live with loneliness, haven't you? You've learned to smile when people ask how you're doing. You've learned to say, "I'm fine," even when your heart is breaking. Because the truth is, my child, you've been useful to people, but not cherished. They call when they need something, a favor, a ride, a listening ear. But when you need comfort, when you need someone to show up, the phone goes quiet, the calendar stays empty, and you're left wondering if anyone would even notice if you disappeared. I see you, beloved. I see the tears you've cried in the shower where no one could hear. I see the nights you've sat on the edge of the bed, wondering if this is all there is. And I'm here to tell you, no, this is not all there is. Because what you've been feeling, this weight, this exhaustion, this sense of being overlooked and undervalued, it's not random. It's not punishment. It's not because you failed or because God forgot about you. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything. There is a spiritual pattern to your pain, and once you see it, you'll understand why the enemy has been fighting you so hard. You weren't abandoned, my child. You were targeted, because you carry something inside you that hell doesn't want activated. A calling, a breakthrough, a generational curse that ends with you. The reason your life has felt heavier than other people's lives is because you're not like other people. You're a chosen one, and the enemy knows it. So he sent financial pressure to distract you. He sent health struggles to weaken you. He sent loneliness to isolate you. He sent betrayal to make you doubt your worth. Because if he could keep you confused, exhausted, and questioning whether God even cares, then he could keep you from stepping into the season heaven has been preparing for you. But here's what the enemy didn't count on. You didn't quit. You didn't give up. You kept waking up. You kept praying, even when it felt like your prayers hit the ceiling and fell back down. You kept moving forward, even when every step felt like walking through mud. And that, my beloved child, is why Archangel Michael is standing next to you right now, because your resilience caught heaven's attention. Your refusal to quit, even in the silence, even in the pain, activated something in the spiritual realm. And today, January 1st, is not a coincidence. This is a threshold moment, a new year, a new door, a new timeline opening in front of you. But you have to stay to receive it. You have to stop scrolling. You have to stop doubting. You have to hear what heaven is about to tell you, because if you walk away now, you'll miss the one word that was custom-made for your soul. Type, "I am still here" if you're reading this, because that simple act, that declaration is your agreement with heaven. It's you saying, "I refuse to give up. I refuse to walk away. I'm staying until I hear what God has to say." And my child, what God has to say is going to break every chain the enemy wrapped around your heart. Listen closely. The financial pressure you've been under, it's about to shift. Not because you suddenly got smarter with money, but because heaven is about to open a door you didn't even know existed. An unexpected check, a surprise provision, a sudden release of resources that were being held back. The health struggles you've been fighting, heaven sees them. And I'm not going to promise you a miracle cure in the next 5 minutes, because God is not a genie, and I'm not a carnival barker. But I am going to tell you this: the strength you've been asking for is already on its way. The peace you've been begging for is already in motion. And the healing, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual, is already being prepared in the realm you can't see yet. The loneliness you've been drowning in, it's about to be interrupted, not by shallow people who only show up when it's convenient, but by divine connections. People who see you, people who value you, people who will walk with you, not just when you're useful, but when you're broken. And the betrayal, the people who used you and discarded you, heaven is about to settle that account. Not with your bitterness, not with your revenge, but with divine justice. Because when God defends you, my child, it's not loud, it's not messy, it's surgical. The people who overlooked you will suddenly see what they missed. The people who took you for granted will suddenly realize what they lost. And the doors they slammed in your face? Those doors are about to swing open, not because you begged, but because heaven said, "Enough." Stay with me, beloved, because I'm about to tell you what Archangel Michael is whispering over your life right now. He says, their season of obscurity is over. Their season of elevation has begun. Do you hear that? Obscurity is over. That means no more being invisible, no more being overlooked. No more wondering if anyone sees you or values you. Elevation has begun. That means you're about to rise, not because you climbed, but because heaven is lifting you. And when heaven lifts you, my child, nothing and no one can pull you back down. But here's the part you need to understand. This elevation requires something from you. Not your perfection, not your strength, not your ability to figure it all out. It requires your surrender, your willingness to let go of the people who drained you, your willingness to stop carrying burdens that were never yours to carry, your willingness to step into the new season, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if it feels scary, even if you don't have all the answers yet, because January 1st is a doorway, my child, and Archangel Michael is standing at that doorway, holding it open for you. But he can't force you through. You have to choose to walk. You have to choose to stay in this moment long enough to hear what comes next. Because what comes next is the promise, the breakthrough, the divine reversal that's going to make everything you've been through make sense. Type "I choose to walk through" if you're ready. Not because I need your engagement, but because heaven is waiting for your yes. You feel it, don't you? That pressure in your chest, like something heavy sitting right there, right behind your ribs. Or maybe it's warmth in your hands, a sudden calm washing over you that you can't explain. My beloved child, that's not random. That's not stress. That's not your imagination playing tricks on you. That's your spirit recognizing truth. Your soul knows what your mind is still trying to figure out. This message was written for you before you even woke up this morning. Before you picked up your phone, before you scrolled past 100 other videos that didn't make you stop, but this one did. And that, my child, is the first sign. Because Archangel Michael doesn't chase everyone. He finds the ones who are ready, the ones who are tired of pretending everything's fine, the ones who whispered a prayer last night that nobody heard except heaven. Stay with me. Don't scroll yet. Because I'm about to show you why today, January 1st, is not just another day. It's a line in the sand, a threshold, a doorway between who you were and who you're about to become. Some dates on the calendar are just dates, but others are spiritual doorways. And January 1st is one of them. It's the first breath of a new year, the first sunrise, the first chance to step through a door that won't stay open forever. Heaven marked this day on your timeline months ago. You didn't know it, but Michael did, and he's been waiting for you to arrive right here, right now, in this exact moment, because there's something you need to see, something you need to hear, something that's been hidden from you for far too long. My child, can I tell you what I see? I see someone who's been carrying weight that was never meant for you. I see someone who's been strong for everybody else while quietly breaking on the inside. I see someone who's been praying for a sign, just one sign that God hasn't forgotten your name. And here it is. This is it. This moment, right now. You're not here by accident. You didn't stumble onto this message. You were drawn here, pulled by something deeper than curiosity, stronger than chance. And if you can feel that pull right now, that strange knowing in your gut, then type "I am protected" in the comments. Not because you're begging, not because you're asking, because you're declaring. You're telling the universe, telling the darkness, telling every force that's been circling your life, I am covered. I am chosen. I am not alone. Now stay with me, my beloved, because what I'm about to tell you next will explain why the last few months felt so heavy, why the nights felt so long, why you kept waking up at 3 a.m. with your heart racing and no reason why. There's been something around you, something quiet, something heavy, something hidden in the shadows of your life, watching, waiting, looking for a crack to slip through. You couldn't see it, but you felt it. You felt it in the sudden anxiety that came out of nowhere. You felt it in the arguments that erupted over nothing. You felt it in the way your finances got tight right when you thought you were getting ahead. You felt it in the relationships that turned cold without explanation. You felt it in your own body aches, pains, exhaustion that sleep couldn't fix. My child, that wasn't just life. That wasn't just stress. That was a spiritual assault, and it was aimed directly at you. Not because you're weak, because you're chosen. Let me say that again so it sinks in. You have been under attack because you are chosen. The enemy doesn't waste energy on people who don't matter. He doesn't send storms after people who have no purpose. He sends trouble after the ones who are about to break generational curses, the ones who are about to step into their destiny, the ones who are about to become a light so bright that darkness can't stand to be near them. And that, my beloved child, is you. But here's what you need to know, and this is why Archangel Michael pulled you here today. He stepped in. Right when that shadow got close enough to touch you, Michael stepped in. He's been standing between you and the tragedy that was aimed at your life. He's been blocking the blow you never saw coming. He's been redirecting the curse that was sent to your door. And today, January 1st, he's asking you to stay awake long enough to receive what he's been holding for you. A new beginning, a fresh start, a clean slate. Not because you earned it, not because you were perfect, but because heaven decided your suffering has gone on long enough. Do you feel that? That shift in the air around you? That lightness starting to creep into your chest? That's not relief. That's release. The weight you've been carrying is starting to lift, not because you're trying harder, but because Michael is cutting the cords that tied you to the past. Every regret, every mistake, every what if, and if only, and why didn't I? He's severing the hold they have on your future. And all you have to do is stay right here. Don't scroll. Don't skip. Don't let doubt talk you out of what your spirit already knows is true. Because in just a moment, I'm going to tell you the one thing that's been blocking your breakthrough, and it's not what you think. It's not your past. It's not your mistakes. It's not even the people who hurt you. It's something quieter, something sneakier, something that's been hiding in plain sight, whispering lies so softly you thought they were your own thoughts. But before I tell you what it is, I need you to do one more thing. I need you to type "I am ready" in the comments. Not "I hope I'm ready." Not "I think I'm ready." Just "I am ready." Because readiness isn't a feeling, my child. It's a decision. And the moment you make that decision, the moment you say, "Yes, I'm ready to receive what heaven has for me," the door swings open. The breakthrough accelerates. The miracle that's been circling your life finally has permission to land. Now listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you is the reason you couldn't scroll past this message. It's the reason your heart started beating faster the moment you saw the title. It's the reason you feel something stirring in your spirit right now, something you haven't felt in a long time. Hope. Real hope. Not the fake kind that pretends everything's fine, but the kind that says, "I've been through hell, and I'm still standing, and maybe, just maybe, God's not done with me yet." That hope, that's Michael whispering in your ear. That's heaven reminding you that you were built for this, that every tear you cried watered the ground for the harvest that's coming, that every night you survived brought you one step closer to the morning that's about to break. And my beloved child, that morning is here. January 1st, the first day, the first light, the first breath of a year that will not look like the last one. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to believe what your spirit is already telling you. That tingle running down your spine, that warmth spreading through your chest, that sudden urge to cry even though nothing sad is happening, that's recognition. That's your soul saying, "Finally, finally, someone sees me. Finally, someone knows." And yes, my child, Michael knows. Heaven knows. God knows every silent scream, every hidden wound, every moment you smiled on the outside while dying on the inside. And he sent this message to find you today, not tomorrow, not next week, today, because the door is open right now. But it won't stay open forever. That's not a threat. That's just truth. Spiritual doors have timing. And this one, the one marked January 1st, new beginning, fresh start, second chance, this one is open for you right now. But if you walk away, if you let fear or doubt or that voice in your head that says, "This can't be real," if you let that voice win, the door closes. Michael moves on, and the breakthrough that was headed your way gets rerouted to someone who was willing to stay. I don't want that for you. Michael doesn't want that for you. Heaven doesn't want that for you. So I'm asking you, no, I'm begging you, don't scroll. Don't skip. Stay with me until the end. Because the next part of this message contains the revelation you've been waiting for. The answer to the question you've been asking for months. Why is this happening to me? And when you hear it, everything is going to make sense. The pain, the delays, the losses, the loneliness, all of it, every single piece of it was preparing you for what's coming next. And what's coming next, my beloved child, is so big, so beautiful, so beyond anything you could have imagined that your old life wouldn't have been able to hold it. So heaven had to break you open, not to destroy you, to expand you. And now, right now, you're finally big enough to receive it. So type "I receive" in the comments. Say it out loud if you're alone. I receive. Not someday. Not when you're ready. Now. Because heaven is releasing it now. Michael is handing it to you now. And all you have to do is open your hands and take it. Stay with me. We're just getting started. My beloved child, listen to me. I know what you've been asking in the quiet. You've been asking, why me? Why so much? Why so long? You didn't say it out loud, but God heard it anyway. And today, Archangel Michael sent me to tell you the answer. Not the one that makes you feel better for 5 minutes. The real answer. The one that changes everything. You ready? Here it is. You weren't hit hard because you're cursed. You were hit hard because you're marked. Let that settle. Type amen if you're still with me, because what I'm about to tell you is going to sound impossible at first, but your spirit already knows it's true. You see, my child, there's a story in the Bible, Daniel, chapter 10. Daniel prayed. He fasted. He begged God for an answer. And nothing came. 21 days. Silence. But here's what Daniel didn't know. The answer had already been sent the moment he prayed. An angel left heaven immediately. But on the way he got blocked. Not by Daniel's sin. Not by God's anger. By a prince of darkness who saw what Daniel was about to receive and tried to stop it. For 3 weeks there was a war in the invisible realm. And Daniel, he thought God wasn't listening, but God was listening. The delay wasn't denial, it was warfare. Now let me ask you something, my beloved. What if your delay wasn't about you at all? What if the reason your breakthrough took so long is because something in the unseen realm has been fighting to keep it from you? Not because you're weak, because you're dangerous. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Because in a few minutes, I'm going to name the block. But first, you need to understand why it targeted you. You see, the enemy doesn't waste energy on people who don't matter. He doesn't send resistance to block someone who's not a threat. So, if your life has been hard, if you've faced betrayal after betrayal, loss after loss, delay after delay, it's not because heaven forgot about you. It's because hell recognized you. And it tried to exhaust you into quitting before you ever stepped into your calling. Type "I see it now" if that just hit you in the chest, because I need to know you're tracking with me. Now, let's talk about Joseph. You know his story. Favorite son, dreamer, coat of many colors, and then betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, locked in prison, forgotten for years. And if Joseph had a journal, I promise you there were nights he wrote, "God, where are you? You gave me a dream, and all I got was a nightmare." But here's what Joseph didn't know in the pit. The pit wasn't the end of the promise. The pit was the preparation for the palace. Because the man who walked into Pharaoh's court years later wasn't the same boy who got thrown in the hole. That boy was naive, untested, unprepared for the weight of authority. But the man who came out, He'd been humbled, refined, trained to lead a nation through famine. The pit didn't cancel the promise, my child. The pit protected the promise until Joseph was strong enough to carry it. And I'm telling you today, what you thought was rejection was rescue. What you thought was delay was mercy. Because some doors you wanted to walk through 5 years ago, if you'd gotten them then, they would have destroyed you. You weren't ready. Your character wasn't ready. Your faith wasn't ready. So God held the door closed not to punish you, but to protect you from the wrong season. Don't skip now. Stay with me, because this is where it gets personal. You feel that weight in your chest? That tightness when I said the word delay? That's not anxiety, my beloved. That's recognition. That's your spirit saying, that's my story. And Archangel Michael is standing next to you right now, whispering, tell them they are not behind. Tell them they were being prepared. So, let me say it louder for the ones in the back. You are not behind. You didn't miss your moment. You didn't mess it up. You are exactly where you need to be for what's about to unfold. But listen, if you scroll away now, you step out of the moment. You step out of the frequency. And the block I'm about to name? You'll miss it. So type, I will stay one more time. Let heaven know you're serious. Now, let's talk about Job. Because if anybody got hit hard, it was him. Lost his wealth, lost his children, lost his health, sat in the ashes, scraping his skin with broken pottery, asking God, why? And his friends, the ones who were supposed to comfort him, looked at him and said, you must have done something wrong. God doesn't let this happen to good people. But they were wrong, because Job's suffering wasn't punishment, it was a test. Not because Job was weak, but because his integrity was so strong that even hell wanted to see if it could be broken. And here's what most people miss about Job's story. God didn't explain himself. He didn't give Job a list of reasons. He didn't say, here's why I allowed this. Instead, he showed up, and he said, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Do you command the morning? Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades? In other words, Job, you don't need to understand my plan. You just need to trust my power. And when Job stopped demanding answers and started surrendering to the mystery, that's when everything turned. His health was restored. His wealth was doubled. His family was rebuilt. Not because he figured it out, because he let go. My child, do you hear what I'm saying? You've been trying to understand why you've suffered when what heaven is asking is, will you trust me anyway? Because the block, the real block, isn't your circumstances. It's not your bank account. It's not your age. It's not even the people who betrayed you. The block is your agreement with fear. Let me say that again. The block is your agreement with fear. Somewhere along the way, you made a deal with doubt. You said, I'll protect myself. I'll stay small. I won't hope too big, because if I do, I'll just get hurt again. And that agreement? It's been keeping the door closed. Not because God won't open it, because you won't step through it. Type amen if that just cracked something open inside you, because we're almost at the turning point. You see, my beloved, every warrior gets tested before they get promoted. David killed a lion and a bear in private before he faced Goliath in public. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before he led a nation out of Egypt. Jesus fasted 40 days in the desert before he started his ministry. And you? You've been in your wilderness. You've been facing your lions. You've been fasting maybe not from food, but from hope, from peace, from joy. And it's felt like it would never end. But Archangel Michael is telling me right now, tell them the wilderness season is closing. Tell them the door is about to open. But they have to stop agreeing with the voice that says they're not ready. So here's what I need you to do. Right now, before you scroll, before you click away, before doubt creeps back in, I need you to say this out loud. I break agreement with fear. I break agreement with delay. I choose to trust that my God is bigger than my past. Say it out loud, even if your voice shakes, because when you speak it, something shifts in the realm you can't see. The block starts to crack, the resistance starts to crumble, and the door, your door, starts to swing open. Stay with me, my child. Don't leave now, because in the next section, I'm going to tell you exactly what heaven is about to release into your life, and the one choice that will unlock it. But only if you stay. Type "I'm still here" if you're ready for what comes next, because this is not a normal moment. This is your moment. And Archangel Michael is not letting you walk away empty-handed. My beloved child, stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you most people will never hear, not because it's hidden, but because the moment they get close to this truth, something whispers. You don't need to know this. Keep scrolling. That whisper, that's the enemy. And today, Archangel Michael is going to show you exactly how it's been working, not with fire, not with violence, but with something far more dangerous, reasonable fear. You see, the enemy doesn't need to destroy you. It just needs to convince you that it's too late, that you're too old, too broken, too far behind, that the life you wanted, the peace, the love, the provision, was meant for someone else. And my child, if you've ever felt that way, I need you to understand something right now. That feeling didn't come from God. It came from a voice that benefits when you stay small, a voice that profits when you doubt your own worth, a voice that whispers, "You're not chosen, you're just tired." But Archangel Michael is standing in front of you today, and he's saying, "Enough." Because the truth is this: some people in your life don't want you healed. They want you dependent. Some relationships don't want you strong. They want you confused. Some voices don't want you free. They want you manageable. And, my child, I know that hurts. I know it feels like betrayal to even think it. But listen to me, this is not hate. This is clarity. Because Michael doesn't just comfort you. He confronts what's been hunting you. And what's been hunting you is not a demon with horns. It's a cycle, a pattern, a way of living where you give and give and give, and somehow you're always the one left empty. You help people who never help you back. You forgive people who never say they're sorry. You stay loyal to people who wouldn't cross the street for you. And every time you try to set a boundary, that voice comes back. But what if they need me? What if I'm being selfish? What if God is testing my patience? My beloved child, let me tell you something that might shake you. God is not asking you to drown so someone else can float. God is not asking you to lose yourself so someone else can find themselves. That's not sacrifice. That's slow death. And Archangel Michael sees it. He's been watching you carry weights that were never yours to carry. He's been watching you apologize for things you didn't do. He's been watching you shrink so other people could feel big. And today, January 1st, the first day of this new year, he's saying, "Not anymore." Because here's what the enemy has been doing, my child. It's been using your kindness as a weapon against you. It's been using your faith to keep you in place. It's been whispering, if you were really spiritual, you'd endure this. If you really trusted God, you wouldn't need boundaries. If you were really anointed, this wouldn't hurt so much. But that's a lie. A lie wrapped in scripture. A lie dressed up as humility. Because the truth that will set you free today is this: Jesus had boundaries. Jesus said no. Jesus walked away from crowds that wanted to use him. Jesus let Judas leave. And if the Son of God could say, "I will not give my peace to people who trample it," then so can you. Type, "My fear is not my leader," if you feel this in your spirit. Because that declaration right there is the beginning of your freedom. Now, my child, I want you to stay with me, because this is where it gets deeper. The enemy's strategy isn't just external, it's internal. It lives in the voice that says, "You're being too sensitive. You're overreacting. You're imagining things. And that voice, my beloved, has kept you second-guessing yourself for years. You felt something was wrong, but you ignored it. You sensed someone was lying, but you stayed quiet. You knew you were being used, but you smiled through it. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that your feelings don't matter, that your voice doesn't count, that your pain is an inconvenience. But Archangel Michael is here today to tell you, your discernment was right. Your instincts were correct. Your spirit was trying to protect you. And every time you ignored it, every time you talked yourself out of what you knew was true, you handed the enemy another day, another week, another year, but no more. Because today, heaven is giving you permission to trust yourself again, to believe what you feel, to honor what you know, to stop explaining yourself to people who refuse to understand. And my child, I know this is hard. I know you've been taught that love means never giving up on people, that faith means enduring all things, that grace means letting people hurt you over and over. But that's not grace, that's trauma bonding. And God did not send his Son to die so you could live in bondage to people who refuse to change. Jesus came to set captives free, not to keep them chained with guilt. So here's what Archangel Michael wants you to hear. The people who drain you are not your assignment. The relationships that exhaust you are not your calling. The voices that make you feel small are not from heaven. And the fear that keeps you trapped, the fear that says, if I leave, I'll be alone, that fear is not your leader. Not today. Not ever again. Because here's the beautiful justice, my beloved child. When you finally step away from what's been draining you, when you finally say no to what's been breaking you, when you finally choose yourself the way God has always chosen you, something miraculous happens. The people who were using you, they move on quickly, because they were never there for you. They were there for what you could give them. But the people who love you, they stay. They understand. They honor your boundaries because they honor you. And my child, that's how you know the difference. That's how you separate the real from the counterfeit. The ones who get angry when you set boundaries were never for you. The ones who guilt you when you say no were never with you. The ones who call you selfish when you choose peace were never seeing you. They were using you. And Archangel Michael is cutting those cords today, not with hatred, not with bitterness, but with clarity, with truth, with the kind of love that says, I release you to be who you are, but I will no longer sacrifice who I am to keep you comfortable. And my beloved, when you say that, when you mean that, everything shifts. The energy around you changes. The people in your life rearrange, and the blessings that were blocked by toxic loyalty, they start to flow. Because here's what the enemy didn't want you to know. Your breakthrough has been waiting on the other side of your boundary. Your peace has been waiting on the other side of your no. Your promotion has been waiting on the other side of your release. And the moment you stop clinging to what's killing you, heaven can finally give you what's meant to heal you. So today, my child, this first day of the year, Archangel Michael is asking you to make a choice. Not a loud one, not a dramatic one, but a quiet, holy, non-negotiable one. He's asking you to stop being available to people who are not available to your growth. He's asking you to stop defending yourself to people who have already decided you're guilty. He's asking you to stop waiting for permission from people who will never give it. Because, my beloved, you don't need their permission. You have heaven's, and that's the only approval that matters. Type, I choose my peace, if you're ready to walk in this. Because that simple declaration is an earthquake in the spirit realm. It's you telling the enemy, you no longer have access to my energy. It's you telling fear, you are not my leader. It's you telling God, I trust you enough to let go. And my child, when you do that, when you finally release what's been weighing you down, you won't fall, you'll rise. Because Archangel Michael has been holding you this whole time, not to keep you trapped, But to prepare you for flight, stay with me, because what's coming next will show you exactly what heaven has planned for the ones who finally choose themselves. My beloved child, listen to me very closely now, because what I'm about to tell you is going to shake something loose inside you that's been locked up for years. Heaven kept records. Every single tear you swallowed when no one was looking recorded. Every word they twisted to make you look small recorded. Every night you stayed awake wondering if God even saw what they did to you recorded. And today, January 1st, Archangel Michael is standing in the courts of heaven with a scroll in his hand. Your name is written on it, and he's saying to the Father, "This one has endured enough. Let justice begin." Now, I need you to understand something. This is not revenge. This is not about you becoming like them. This is about God handling it while you keep your soul clean. Because the Bible says it plain as day. In Romans 12:19, "Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. I will repay." That means you don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to curse them. You don't have to post about them. You don't have to fight back. God saw what they did in private. He saw the lies they told about you behind closed doors. He saw the love you gave that they threw back in your face. He saw the help you offered when they were drowning and how quickly they forgot you once they got back on their feet. And, my child, what was hidden will be revealed. Clean, clear, undeniable. Not because you exposed them, but because lies collapse under light. That's just how it works. You can't build a life on deception and expect it to stand. Psalm 37 says, "Do not fret because of evildoers, for they will soon fade like the grass." That word soon, it doesn't mean 20 years from now. It means the season is shifting right now. And those who stood against you, those who mocked your faith, drained your energy, stole your peace, they're about to hit a wall they didn't see coming. Not because you wished it on them, but because the universe corrects itself. God balances the scales, and justice, my beloved, is already in motion. Now let me tell you what this looks like, because I don't want you thinking this is about watching people suffer. That's not the heart of God. This is about doors closing that they used to control you with. This is about favor shifting in a direction they can't manipulate anymore. This is about you waking up one morning and realizing they don't have access to you like they used to. The phone number they could always call when they needed something. Suddenly, you don't feel obligated to answer. The guilt they used to lay on you like a blanket, it doesn't stick anymore. The fear that kept you small, kept you quiet, kept you saying yes when your spirit was screaming no, gone. And my child, that's when you'll know. That's when you'll look back and say, God really did fight for me. Because justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's just you waking up one day and realizing you're free. Free from their voice in your head. Free from their version of who you're supposed to be. Free from the weight of trying to prove yourself to people who were never going to see you clearly anyway. And while that freedom is settling into your bones, something else is happening. Help is coming. From a direction you didn't expect. A door you didn't even know existed is about to swing open. A person you haven't met yet is about to walk into your life at exactly the right time. An opportunity that seemed impossible 6 months ago is about to land in your lap like it was always meant for you. Because that's how God works. He doesn't just remove the opposition. He replaces the loss with something better. He doesn't just close the door on what hurt you. He opens a new one that leads you somewhere you were always supposed to go. And my beloved child, I need you to get ready. Because after January 1st, things are going to start moving fast. Archangel Michael told me to tell you, watch for 3 signs. I'm going to give them to you before this ends. But first, I need to make sure you understand the spiritual principle at work here. Because if you miss this, you'll miss everything. When God brings justice, it's not just about punishing the guilty, it's about restoring the innocent. It's about giving you back what was stolen. Your peace, your confidence, your sense of worth. The dreams you buried because someone convinced you they were foolish. The gifts you stopped using because someone made you feel like you weren't good enough. The love you stopped believing in because the wrong person broke your heart. God is handing it all back. But here's the key: you have to be willing to receive it. You have to be willing to let go of the bitterness that's been keeping you warm at night. You have to be willing to stop rehearsing what they did and start imagining what God's about to do. You have to be willing to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. And I know that's hard. I know some of you are sitting there thinking, "You don't know what they did to me." You're right. I don't. But God does. And He's saying, "I will handle it. But I need you to let me." Type justice with peace in the comments right now if you want God to handle it without you losing your soul. Because that's the trade-off, my child. You can hold on to the hurt and stay stuck. Or you can release it to God and step into the new season He's prepared for you. Now here's what's going to happen in the next few weeks. Some of you are going to see the people who hurt you start to unravel. Not because you cursed them, but because the truth always comes out. Their mask is going to slip. Their lies are going to get tangled. The narrative they built about themselves is going to crack wide open. And people who believe them, they're going to start seeing clearly. You won't have to say a word. God's going to do the talking. And when that happens, I need you to stay quiet. Don't gloat. Don't gossip. Don't go running to tell everybody. See? I told you. Because the moment you do that, you step out of God's protection and back into the fight. Let them fall on their own. Let the consequences they created catch up to them on their own. You just keep walking forward. Keep your eyes on the new door. Keep your heart open to the new people. Keep your spirit soft enough to receive the new blessings. And my beloved, here's the other part of the verdict. It's not just about what's being taken away from them. It's about what's being given to you. Heaven is about to release favor into your life that doesn't make sense. People are going to start helping you for no reason. Opportunities are going to come to you before you even ask. Doors are going to open that you didn't even know you were qualified for. And when people ask you, "How did that happen?" you're going to smile and say, "God," because that's the only explanation. That's the fingerprint of divine justice. It doesn't just punish the wrong. It elevates the faithful. It doesn't just expose the liar. It honors the truth teller. It doesn't just remove the enemy. It promotes the overcomer. And you, my child, you are the overcomer. Not because you're perfect, but because you stayed. You stayed faithful when it didn't make sense. You stayed kind when the world told you to harden up. You stayed hopeful when everything around you said give up. And now, January 1st, the first day of the new year, heaven is saying, enough. It's their turn. So before this message ends, I'm going to give you the 3 signs Archangel Michael told me to watch for. These are confirmations that justice is already moving. These are signals that the shift is real. And when you see them, you're going to know God heard me. God saw me. God is moving for me. But before I give them to you, I need one more thing from you. I need you to make a decision right now. Are you going to trust God with this? Are you going to let Him fight while you rest? Are you going to release the people who hurt you into His hands and walk forward into the new season He's prepared? If the answer is yes, type, "I trust you," God, in the comments. Because that simple declaration is going to unlock something in the spirit realm. It's going to signal to heaven that you're ready. Ready for justice, ready for peace, ready for the restoration that's already on its way. Now stay with me, because the 3 signs are coming. And when you hear them, everything is going to start making sense. Archangel Michael says, "This is your final warning. Don't scroll." Ending, final warning plus cliffhanger, loop #3. My beloved child, We've reached the moment where most people make the fatal mistake. They feel the weight lift. They sense the shift. They breathe a little easier, and then they scroll away. And the second they do, the door closes. The shield drops. The blessing that was one breath away turns around and walks back into the unseen. Don't let that be you. Not today. Not after everything we've walked through together. Listen to me very carefully. The tragedy that was heading toward you wasn't just an event on a calendar. It wasn't just bad luck. It wasn't random. It was a trap designed with 3 specific ingredients: fear, rushing, and isolation. Fear to cloud your discernment. Rushing to make you skip the very message sent to save you. Isolation to convince you that no one sees, no one cares, and no one's coming. But here's what the enemy didn't count on. You didn't scroll. You didn't skip. You stayed. And because you stayed, Michael stepped between you and the collapse. The trap didn't spring. The plan didn't land. The curse hit a shield instead of your chest. Now, let me tell you what happens next, because this is where it gets real. The danger is moving away, right now, as you read these words. But the blessing can't move in until you stop running. You escape the trap not by fighting harder, not by figuring it out faster, but by choosing calm obedience. That's the secret they don't want you to know. Obedience isn't weakness. It's the posture of protection. When you stay still under the shield, when you stop trying to outthink heaven, when you let Michael do what he was sent to do, everything shifts. The atmosphere changes, the pressure lifts, the fog clears, and suddenly you can see what's been there all along. A path, a door, a way forward that doesn't require you to beg, barter, or break yourself anymore. My child, I need you to understand something. This message didn't find you by accident. Your name was whispered in the throne room 3 days ago. Michael said, "They're about to walk into something they can't see." And the Father said, "Then go. Stand close. Make sure they hear." That's why your hands are shaking. That's why you feel that pull in your chest. That's why you can't look away. This isn't a video. This is a visitation. And you're standing in the middle of it right now. But here's what I need you to know before we close. The shield is strongest when you stay awake. When you stay connected. When you don't drift back into the noise, the doubt, the scroll, the distraction. Michael isn't just protecting you today. He's repositioning you for what's coming in the next 72 hours. And I'm telling you, what's coming is going to shock you. Not because it's bad, because it's good. Because it's sudden, because it's the kind of breakthrough that makes you stop and say, "Wait, this is real?" But you won't recognize it if you're not paying attention. You won't catch it if you've already scrolled past the voice that's been guiding you. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Stay close. Don't drift. Don't assume you're fine now and wander back into the same patterns that almost buried you. The enemy is counting on you forgetting. He's counting on you getting comfortable. He's counting on you thinking, "Okay, I got the message. I'm good now." But my beloved, this isn't a one-time warning. This is the beginning of a new season, and new seasons require new rhythms. You can't carry old habits into a new chapter and expect them to work. You can't keep the same circle and expect different results. You can't stay in survival mode and step into abundance. Something has to shift, and that shift starts with you deciding right now that you're not going back. Not to the fear, not to the isolation, not to the trap. You're moving forward under the shield, and Michael is walking with you. Now let me give you the next piece, because this story isn't over. In the next message, I'm going to show you the 3 red flag sentences that signal deception is in the room. These are the exact phrases that slither into your mind, your relationships, your decisions, and they sound so reasonable, so normal, that most people never catch them. But once you know what to listen for, you'll never be fooled again. And I'm also going to reveal the 24-hour sign that confirms your breakthrough has entered motion. This isn't something you pray for. This isn't something you beg for. This is something heaven sends as proof that the door has opened and the blessing is already on its way. You'll know it when you see it. And when you do, you'll understand why you had to stay, why you had to hear, why you couldn't scroll past this moment. Because, my child, everything we've walked through today has been preparation. The real movement starts tomorrow, but only if you stay awake, only if you stay connected, only if you refuse to drift back into the fog. So here's what I need you to do right now. Go down to the comments and type the word Amen. Not because I need to see it, because your spirit needs to speak it. When you type that word, you're not just agreeing with a message. You're making a declaration. You're telling the unseen realm, I'm under the shield. I'm staying awake. I'm not going back. And the moment you do that, the moment you speak that word into the atmosphere, the danger that was circling moves away, and the blessing that was waiting moves in. It's that simple. It's that powerful. And it's happening right now. So type it. Say it out loud if you need to. Let your voice agree with heaven's voice, and then breathe. Just breathe, because the worst is behind you. The trap didn't get you. The tragedy didn't land. The enemy didn't win. You're here. You're covered. You're seen. And Michael is nearer than you think. In fact, I'll tell you something that's going to sound strange, but you'll feel the truth of it in your bones. He's been standing next to you this entire time. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally, close enough that if you turned your head fast enough, you'd catch the edge of his presence in the corner of your eye. Close enough that the air around you feels different, heavier, quieter, safer. That's not your imagination. That's not anxiety. That's the atmosphere of protection. And it doesn't lift just because the message ends. It stays as long as you stay. So, don't scroll past your rescue, my beloved. Don't walk away from the very covering you've been praying for. Stay close. Stay awake. Stay under the shield, because what's coming next is going to require everything you've learned today. The discernment, the stillness, the obedience, the trust. And I promise you, when you see that 24-hour sign, when you recognize the shift, when the door opens and the blessing walks in, you're going to look back on this moment and say, that's when everything changed. Not when I figured it out, not when I fought harder, but when I stayed, when I listened, when I let Michael do what he was sent to do. That's the turning point, and you're standing in it right now. So take a breath, let your shoulders drop, let the weight roll off. You're not carrying this alone anymore. You never were. You just couldn't see who was standing next to you until now. But now you know. Now you see. Now you stay. And that changes everything. I'll see you in the next message, my beloved child. Until then, rest under the shield. Walk in the calm. And remember, you're not alone. Michael is nearer than you think. Amen.